Hey, here's a little disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast do not necessarily reflect those of the MAWP organization. And there are some themes and subject matter that may not be suitable for all audiences, so viewer discretion is advised.
I'm going to be eating this throughout the show.
I only used a half cup for the whole batch, so they shouldn't be too potent.
Yeah.
Nothing that will knock you
The
on
last
your
batch
ass.
you made, holy shit.
I accidentally, I put a cup
Get
plus.
my mom Bertie going too.
She was
I got so
crying. She was like, oh, I was
She
like,
ate
oh my
3
God.
cookies. I ate 2 and I was hot.
Okay, I gave her half a cookie and I said, okay, here's your half a cookie. I go into the room and she's like, man, those cookies are so good. And I was like, how many did you have?
Cookies.
And she goes, I had 3. I said, I gave you half a cookie. She goes, they're so good.
And I was high at 2, so she was way higher
Yeah,
than
she
me.
shouldn't have had that many.
And she doesn't smoke pot.
But they
at
were
all, so
snickerdoodle, and I think that was the best batch I've ever made because you really, even when they were dry and kind of old, they still didn't taste like it.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, they're good. And the older they got, the more they taste like Chex Mix. So it wasn't that bad. But yeah, when they were warm, I think I kept eating off the plate.
So you lost track too?
I did, but remember I said, I think I'm dying, remember? I was like, I need to lay down.
Oh, so you're just high. Shut up.
Well, I wasn't like dying, but I was like, I need to lay down.
Yeah, she was obviously high. It was funny as hell.
I slept good.
We all slept good. The whole household slept good. It was awesome. I thought it was funny as shit.
So once again, I'm largely unprepared for the week in terms of what exactly we're going to play. Going to be a little fast and loose today. Shoot from the hip.
Let's go shoot from the hip.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Dun, 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 dun.
Dun, 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 dun. And who is our special guest? Our special guest for today is... It's Cody from Cody Foster Army. Cody Foster. No. Get back in here, Cody.
We've only just begun.
We just started. You can say hi. Come on.
Hi.
Hi.
I just wanted to make sure that you saw the Bob Lazar body language inspection.
What?
The what?
Sorry, I didn't. Hi.
What?
What?
What are you talking about?
I'm fucking everything up.
Well, you just started, so you're setting the tone. Yeah.
Bob Lazar, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw the aliens.
Uh-huh.
Body language experts analyzed his interviews.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, this guy's just totally not fucking lying to you. This guy's just not lying. He's either the best liar and actor on the entire planet, or he's telling you the complete truth, is what they said.
Wow.
Well,
That's good to know.
people can...
Oh, yeah.
Well, no, it's that someone could have abducted him.
Well, yeah, people brought that into play, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course they did, you know.
Well, I mean, so...
Like, is it programmed in him? Does he just think he's telling you the truth?
Nah, he was just kidnapped and butt raped by military or some farmer in Illinois.
It was either aliens or
Jesus.
somebody that was making it look like it was fucking aliens. Or something.
I just thought that was really good. No one to tell if I saw Chris's car.
That's a good thing to know.
Huh?
That's a good thing to know.
Oh, yeah? I'm gonna just sneak out.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Cody Foster from Cody Foster Army, ladies and gentlemen.
Talking about aliens and stuff.
We were invaded.
Goodbye, gray sky, hello, blue. There's nothing can hold me when I hold you. It feels so right, it can't be wrong. Rocking and rolling all week long. These days are all being free. These days are all share them with me.
So,
Yep, I guess we should start a show.
yes.
Because we come here to do a show, and that's what we're doing. We're here. We're We are a show. We're the MAWPCAST One radio program. This is a podcast. It's a show that we play songs from the Tacoma and Greater Pierce County area from throughout all of time in history and space and other
Christopher.
We,
Move that mic away from you while you're eating.
we occasionally eat glazed donuts too.
That'll
during
drive
the
me
show.
mad. I was watching a podcast a while back, just a week or two ago. They had someone who hadn't been on the show before, and dude was sitting there eating on the mic, and I was like, "Holy fuck, what the fuck is going on?"
Can
on
you
this show?
stop?
Like,
Just stop.
and like they were like 10 minutes in before one of the other co-hosts, one of the regulars on the show, just turned him and said, "You got to stop eating into that mic. You got to." And I was like, "Thank you." Thank you so much, because there's just a certain conversation is fine, and people talking, and even when they start kind of talking over each other, that can be fine, but then there's certain things in it that will like create tension and things that aren't cool, like I've said, underlying music usually does not work in a lot of
Background
these things.
music,
Yeah, man. Sometimes it can, if it's just nice, some swing, do 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 do.
Yeah.
But usually,
Well, it's got to be almost inaudible
yeah,
for it to be
You're yeah.
okay. I think.
Mixing is integral.
Yeah.
So I was in the middle of introducing us.
Yes.
I'm Potter. This is Sam and Chris. This is Ashlee Marie back again
Hi.
here with us after a long hiatus.
Long time. I
Yep.
work too much.
It's okay. I'm sure that the fans missed you desperately. And all of our best episodes are the ones with you.
Oh,
Yep.
oh shucks.
I don't have any evidence to back that up. I'm just,
I'll take it.
yeah.
I mean, well,
That's why she dressed up today.
Mm-hmm.
well, it's me and your day. We haven't had a day in a while.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
doing a concert in South Hill Puyallup after our friends in Limberlost are
Oh, that's great.
playing out there, so it's gonna be kind of cool.
They're a Puyallup band, right? They're Puyallup based.
Puyallup-ish area-ish.
I mean, ultimately, this doesn't matter, and we could say whatever we want.
I learned that Bing Crosby was Tacoma. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Born in a house right here in the North End.
1903.
Yeah. There's a plaque outside the house that he was born in. It's on in the stadium district, right there in the North End neighborhoods, right by Division, like fourth or
So,
fifth.
so Mama didn't make it to the hospital or had a in-home birth?
Well,
or?
1903, most kids were born
Oh,
in
yeah,
the house.
yeah,
I would
yes,
say.
you're right.
Yeah, they didn't go.
Yeah.
And most moms died because of it. Didn't get the right tension afterwards. But yeah.
I don't know about most, but it was a high
lot.
statistic. Yeah, unfathomable, crazy. Like,
Kind of a lot.
yeah.
More than now. I want to hear
Well-
about your Rainier game trip.
Oh,
I want to hear all the details.
We went and saw the Tacoma
that's
Rainiers
cool.
on
I
Sunday.
mean, here, if you
He's
could
so
zone in
sunburnt.
on-
He looks
I
like a
got sunburn
lobster.
on my face,
Were you
right?
sunburned?
Yeah, because his hat was right
stripe.
there.
I should have wore shorts. I didn't get sunburned.
You got a little burn.
Oh, a little color.
A little.
But,
Me?
Yeah,
We'll
a
see
little.
on my
Your
face.
face a little bit.
Yeah, you had the hat going on though. He
Yeah.
had this super wide brim hat, so he
That's
knew.
smart.
He was prepared. I was not.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a little over prepared always. Like it's better. Life is better to have what you need on hand. Yeah. Chris called me up and was like, I want to go to this game, and I was like, yeah, I want to go to the game. I actually had not ever been to Cheney Stadium, so it was cool to get to go. And there's no reason why I've not gone, other than I've just not ever picked up and walked over there and gone. But now I will, because I've got the ins and outs of things. So, and it was super fun. We showed up and got super stoned, and then I felt like, oh no, I'm gonna smell like weed because we were all in
Chris
a band.
told me you were a little paranoid.
Well,
You're like me.
I didn't know who
You're
we were
like
going
me.
to be sitting with or who
Yeah.
invited us. So I was like, oh, we could be coming with a couple of people who might frown on a couple of stoners smelling like
No.
weed.
Oh, no,
I just didn't know.
Patty, she smokes tough just like the rest of us.
Or I could just be crammed into like in between people that might be like,
Yep.
you know, sit next to a kid, smell like
Yeah.
a roach. But so he had this little body spray stuff, and I then sprayed it right down me because I wouldn't like put aerosol on me, but I put it on my shirt, and then I had a stripe on my shirt. It faded off pretty well, and I wasn't.
And then it was white, and then it was like going, oh. And I was trying to wipe it off. It made a mark on it.
Yeah. But I smelled nice. Yep. And then we wandered in, and
Almost got hit by a baseball right off the bat.
well, that was a little ways in. That was after the game started.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
When we got there, we were just we started to walk around and show the ushers our tickets so we could find our way, and they instructed us where to go, and it
This
sounded like
is the cool part.
yeah, it sounded like we might have nice seats because they were like, oh, you go up here, 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 and here, and you go in this place, and so we said okay. So we followed their directions, and we got exactly where they instructed us, and it was not seats; it was just this big open area with tables and stuff, and a dude checking, and he's like, oh yeah, you're in the right place. I mean, your seats aren't here, but here, take this little bracelet, and you can have any of the beer you want, as much as you want. And Chris was
And that's
like,
where we said, wait a second. What did you say?
yeah,
Free beer, wine, and snacks?
yep,
Stop the bus.
yep. And then we were super excited about that. We went and found our seats. Ran into Patty and Dave, who we were there with, and they were all super excited about the free snacks and beer.
We're just as excited too. Yeah.
Because they didn't know. Yeah, someone had just gave Patty these tickets as a tip.
As a tip.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And,
It's a nice
Weekly.
tip.
Tacoma
Yeah.
Weekly, a guy from the Tacoma Weekly.
Yeah.
Very
And
nice guy. Super cool.
So we then got to our seats, and they were nice seats on the first base, right? We were on first base.
Yeah, right on the first baseline. Right where, if we're right at the end of the net. So if the batter hit the ball and it went straight down the line and right to the outside of the net, so it went into the crowd right beyond the safety, I would have been dead because that's where I was.
No, I would have caught the ball in my hand.
But Potter, he could have just leaned over to the left.
Yeah.
If he would have leaned over to the left, he'd be totally safe. But no, I was in kill zone. But luckily, didn't have anything. I would have saved us with that pizza though, so it would have been all right.
Yeah, that pizza was like a catcher's mitt.
This is why one thing about going places, even if it's a concert or baseball game, never get the pizza.
Yeah,
Never
I figured
get
that
the
out. I
pizza.
figured that out.
It is never
It sounded like a good
going
idea.
to be good. It might sound good.
Well,
It's not
once
good.
I saw the beer, I got kind of bewildered, and I thought I automatically assumed everything was going to be awesome.
I'm not trying to talk crap about Washington, but I think the only time I've ever had good fair pizza or like
Like I
pizza at
said,
a concert was like Oregon.
I was up in the clouds when they said free beer, and I looked, and it was all craft beers, Blue Moons, and stuff like good stuff. I was just like, oh, what? Mm-hmm. Potter had a beer too. That was kind of
Yeah, I haven't had
that was unusual.
I haven't had a beer in 10 years.
Yeah.
And at one point I went out to have a little bit of my coffee because I didn't want to buy a coffee there, and I had plenty. So I just went out around the fourth or fifth inning and drank a little coffee, and took a couple tokes off of Roach that was in there, and I came back in and I was like, I should get a beer, because like I figured I would just have a sip, and
Yeah.
why not just because it's free. I can just have a sip and see what I think about it, because I might as well. And I had anticipated anyway having a beer this summer. I'd been thinking about it. Maybe I'll just get to a point where I was like, oh, I might have a beer. And this ended up just coincidentally being that moment. And I perused their selections, and one of them a couple of them were kind of like, oh, that one kind of looks interesting, and that one looks good. But then at the last second, I kind of like, oh, no, this is the one I want. And I grabbed that one that was Founder's Choice.
A Founder's Solid Gold lager.
Gold lager. It was premium lager. And it was delicious. Like
I liked
it. It made me kind of laugh when he said that too, because I had it on tap, and that was the one that he liked, and he had a glass. Out of all the beers, he didn't like any of them but that one.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
I've got a fair eye for things, and I was, but also there's a lot of hit and miss in that kind of situation. I had no base of reference there. I didn't know what I was doing. It was really more than anything blind luck, but yeah, I was very happy with it.
Good.
Like I only drank half the beer, but like it was like that's 10 more sips than I was probably anticipating.
Gonna take, yeah.
And it was delicious.
It's another one that I'll buy.
Oh,
I like it.
I mean, and half beer gave me a little buzz. Like I was feeling fine.
Those craft beers kind of hit you a little bit different than.
Okay, do you have that for sale in can?
No, we only have those on rare occasion. Every time something.
Do you think I get those at like the store?
We could go to wine. What's that wine store? Wine and More.
Up on the hill.
Yeah. What is that store called?
I don't know.
God, it's on the tip of my tongue. It's
Everything alcohol, something like that.
But yeah, we can go to that store and see if they have it. But usually that kind of stuff, you have to specialty buy it from the brewery.
It'd be cool to get a couple of cans of that for that show tonight.
MSM often has a lot of wide selection of craft beer, and so does Stadium Thriftway, if that's what it's still called.
Oh yeah, they do. They have some really good stuff over there. It's because Tacoma is such a big beer community. So
yeah,
I don't have my cooler on me.
We're really close to Pint Defiance too. We can go there and see what beer they have. That's an actual bottle shop.
Cooler on me, though. That's what the bummer is. I had a cooler on me, that'd be.
But we're going home first, remember?
I know.
Mm-hmm. Who knows? Maybe beers in the future.
We'll get a koozie.
I called it a cozy. I'm still gonna stick to my guns.
Hold it.
Makes beer cozy.
Cozy. What did you call it?
It's a koozie. It's called a koozie.
Who calls it that? I've never heard it called.
So when I started working at Cascades, I had a brewer event, and I've always called them beer cozies because it makes beer cozy. That's what I thought. I don't know. And I was very, very strongly told that's not what it's called. It is called a beer koozie. And every brewer in there was like, yeah. Like, cool. And I was like, okay, sorry.
Like Coke. So that'd be cozy.
That's dumb.
If it had one O, then it'd be cozy.
Well,
two, so it's cozy.
Having never seen how beer guys write it, we're not wrong because we've been saying cozy because that's what we call it.
Yeah.
We call them cozies.
Yeah, I mean,
they're the assholes.
I doubt
right. I was just like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, is it in the dictionary?
Yeah, no. It's a brand
word.
Yeah,
so that's what I'm saying. It could be anything.
I mean, maybe it is in the dictionary for all we know because we obviously don't know what it's fucking called.
Well, in the beer world, it's called a koozie.
On the internet, you're going to find it because on the internet, they believe everything.
In every normal person's life, I would say it's a cozy.
Yeah. Dude, if you're at a kegger in the woods and you try calling it a koozie, they're like,
you're cozy. Try calling it. It was picking up half of what you said.
What is it?
Hold on.
I'll do it. I'll find it.
Come on. How do you pronounce beer cozy? Oh, shit.
You should not be allowed to have a phone because you're fired.
But see, there's two different spellings.
Well, because you said cozy.
Christopher.
Well, yeah, but look. There's C-O-Z-Y at Target. C-O-O-Z-I-E.
Okay.
K-O-O-Z-I-E.
Babe, I got it. I got it.
But what's the problem?
Hold on. Shh.
How do you spell?
Koozie. It's koozie.
Koozie.
So you say.
Koozie.
So does Google.
Koozie.
Koozie. We've been wrong all of our lives.
Koozie.
Yep. And yep. And I still, during brewer events, I slip. I say cozy.
Now you know better.
All you have to do is brand one of your own. Call it Cozy, and
because it makes
done
beer cozy. Dude, billboards everywhere.
Make it with like material from a chair. Like you give it that chairish feel, like maybe leather.
Should I do
Just
rock
make it
and
out of-
roll beer cozies? Is that what you're trying to say?
Just add like a leather element to it or
Okay.
something.
So rock and roll beer cozies with like little crosses and bedazzles, and sell them for like $25 bucks.
I don't like the word bedazzled.
Okay, but when you look at rock and roll jeans, what's on rock and roll jeans? Bedazzle.
I don't have any.
I know you
bedazzles.
don't, but you don't have rock and roll jeans.
If I got
You got you have grunge
I'm not gonna put no
jeans.
bedazzles
You have
on it.
grunge jeans. You got the jeans that
I'm
you
making rock
have.
and roll ones, but they're not going to be bedazzles.
God damn it, Christopher Pederson.
My donut.
let's find some songs to hear. Is it that time?
Yes.
Feels like it's that time. We'll see what we hear. Whatever we hear, we hear.
When they have to say, I have to look inside. When I'm on the side, I don't like what I find. Maybe that's my show, but now it's my turn to fight. A fight keeps what burns inside. Fight for what is right. Look inside, such a heart
Let's get it. They saw me when I strolled in. Jealous, I'm rebellious, and I snuck the fofo in. Hating on the Panther, get you no wins. Northwest party, my crime is bringing the drove in. Shorty eyeballing me crazy, let's hit the flow then. Two-step and handle my weapon. If you out of line, I can turn the spot to Tetris. Who won't fall? 6'3", Mamba instincts, I was born to ball. All net when Seb do it, y'all niggas can kiss the Timbs and get your whole grill rebooted. What up, Esco? Bartender hit me, double shot, Henny on the rocks, let's get the spot moving. Cause I ain't here for games or giggles, we get it poppin', dump the clock and leave you maimed a little. Your shorty know who the live is, she feel me like deep tissue. Don't get her life took over, you and me issue. Indeed, I'm doing my thing, she feeling like Derrick Rose, licking your soul to roll with the king. Let's go. You know, hey, now get your hands up, get your hands up, go. Real talk, your girl see you for the coward you are. That's right. She eye her son down at the bar, like the baldy do something to her. She hypnotized by the fly maneuvers. I guess she used to getting hers, batteries not included. Right. Turn on the back, shorty feeling like she rebooted. It's like I planted it in her and pimpin' deep rooted. 2 hours later, target practice on skeet shooting. Broad dog drop like Nagasaki, lead a pink gooey. No disrespect intended. If you let it fly, no problem. Bet your tune also when the weapon rise. Crown the kings, pool blazing, space needle ceiling high. All the names was Young Bunchy, yep, my committee fly. Austin is my whole steez, Molotov, make 'em fry. I wouldn't piss on you silly niggas to save your life. 253, we back, tell your people, send it out, crushing Guinness style. Y'all niggas are seeking. Let's go. Y'all already know what it is. Sack Town in the building. NC, let's go. See, I don't say the boy filthy, and I agree. Yes. Alphabet killer, my nigga, I'm a G. Hit the VIP section. The owner don't allow dro smoke in his establishment, then point me to the next one. Cause I don't have time for the stress and Matrix did it, Mr. Sliff. Y'all probably should let the West side. I see the stairs, why the jealousy? Probably cause the bars got me everywhere you dare to be. Just keep it to yourself, cause I don't care about a felony. I came to have a good time, the heart of the hood mine. Word to Raz, I'm that nigga. Missing jugs ain't no part of the plan, it's facts, nigga. Couple bottles in, 7 to win. Relax, nigga, you're breathing in good hands. I'm bringing her back, nigga. Me and my dogs, nah, we ain't chasing cat, nigga. Get acquainted with the facts, nigga. Crown me king. Now let's get 7 to pan. Rock's the general. Yeah. Go. Uh-huh.
sometimes I'm just like, what the fuck did you just say? Like, what the fuck?
That's the whole reason. And that's why.
Thanks, Ashley.
Yeah. Are we back?
We are. We're back from a wonderful set of songs that we just threw together on a whim because I wasn't that prepared today. But that's the magic of the show. That was spontaneous. It was free form, and it just came together like magic. On Down the Road. That's what we just heard by Dane Norman and the Chrysalis Effect off of their new EP, Lantern. We also heard, what was it, Go by Seven the Panther. That's what we heard. That one's off of Math Volume 1. We heard Closer Tones by Colonies off Forest Floor. And we started all off with Portrait of Poverty, Look Inside, off the Poor Princess of Punk Power.
Great music, great music.
I like the last one.
Very Beatles,
Lantern.
Bowie-ish.
Lantern?
Dane Norman is the band. The Lantern is the name of their little EP there. And you can catch them performing all over town. All the time. Or at least sometimes.
Sometimes. Sometimes all around town, all the time. Maybe.
Well, they're an active band. Sometimes it's good to point out some people that we play who are active.
Yes. That's good.
Yeah.
Idea,
Yeah.
Because a lot of these shows, they haven't played for 20
Yeah.
years. So.
Yeah.
But here they are.
But here they
They're
are.
great.
A lot of music. See, a lot of music from the last 20 years could just have come out at any time. Like, there's a lot of like good recording quality and great songwriting and all this, and so it all blends together nicely. Some of the stuff that is a poor recording could have also came out at any time, but it's easier to see that that's older. You know. I don't know what I'm saying.
Here. Try this. This
Well,
will make it exciting.
I'm trying to look.
This
Oh, someone else is gonna have to talk.
That
Oh,
one tastes
goodness.
like soap, kinda.
No, it's...
It does too. It tastes like lavender or something, like a soap.
Maybe.
I don't know what.
It's an indica, too, so
Yeah.
it'll make you think twice.
Are we even gonna make it to the show later?
Absolutely. Look who you're talking to here. Come on. This will make it to the show.
So what else is going on in the world? What's so exciting lately?
I did trivia at Louis G's again.
That's right. How'd that go?
It went,
It went good.
Yeah.
We had more teams this time. It was better than having 2 or 3.
Yeah.
We had up to like 7.
Yeah, so twice as
So-
many. More than twice as many this time. So
And they all brought their families, so they spent a lot of money, which was
yeah.
good.
Some of the teams were like 10 people.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it was there was
wow. That's good.
so it was cool.
So there's that.
It didn't look like a lot because the space is just so big. If it's just like a smaller space, I'd feel like, but I'm still kind of feeling like it's not that big. And I know everyone says it's fine. I'm just,
This goes the same for bands also who
Yeah.
perform, and they
Yeah.
feel the same way.
yeah.
Like, and like if a room's not packed, you're very aware that it's not packed, and the bigger
Yes.
the room is, the harder it is to pack. So, and every gig is this opportunity, and it's also this potential for various kinds of letdown depending on where your ego lies. Sometimes you play to small crowds, and you'd be surprised how many really famous people have played to very, very small crowds on their way up, going up.
Yeah.
And we live in a time right now where the music scene is, live music is, I guess some will say, in a bit of a lull. And it might be, like, in the area or in general. I don't know.
Well, I think a lot of that is because it's, I don't know. It's like two things for me that I think it's too easy to do it at home yourself and to put it out into the public all by yourself. I mean, of course, it 9 times out of 10 it's of minimal quality and lacks a lot of professional people working on it.
Production value and
Yeah.
songwriting,
And
musicianship.
and then a lot of it is there's been, for some reason, well, I don't know, maybe it's because of lack of shows, but a lot of venues have been closing. There's been a lot of closures of venues, I've noticed.
People just can't afford to go out.
Too.
We're in this
The affordability
lull.
of it
All
and
the
stuff.
world right now is kind of in a lull of you have to pick and choose what you're spending your money on. You need to be more smart because you don't really know where the world is going at this moment and how everything's going to be. So the best thing for you to do is to not go out. And I see that happening with a lot of small businesses and stuff because people are just staying home.
Yep,
And
you're not wrong. That's a good point. All of the points you're making.
Yeah. And working in such a small business, I've definitely noticed that since all this stuff has been happening lately, the decline of clientele has been very, very big. So
Decline of Western civilization as we know it.
Well,
it's just a shitty. It's a shitty thing right now.
well, listen. Things change, times change, cultures change based on trends and stuff like that. So, it might not ever go back to certain ways.
Oh, I know.
We could be talking about a great number of things here, but like just the landscape of the world is changing drastically and could be forever altered. And like if you look back through the course of history of any given thing, it can change drastically. Like wrestling is a good example of it.
Oh yeah,
Wrestling used to be
so cool.
but before it was cool, it was just something people. It was cool, like it at its essence, at its core. But I'm talking like 150 years ago. It was just people would come and watch guys fucking fight, and they would just be fighting, and that's all it really was at its core. And sometimes they would do that for hours. And this was such a popular brand of entertainment that it was one of the first things put on TV when TV was there. And a lot of the old TV was just a camera stuck in a fucking wrestling hall just filming the wrestling matches. And so in a sense it's kind of a cornerstone of TV. It's always sort of been there and always resurfaces. But in those days when wrestling started then to evolve, it was territories. It was like you wrestled in a certain area basically, and those areas were governed by little regional bodies.
Yeah.
And occasionally someone would move to a different region, or something like that. Or some people, but it wasn't like it is today. And that era didn't evolve until the 80s when Vince McMahon took over the WWF, or the WWF, what it was from his father, and then rebranded it and started gobbling up all these small territories and making it into one unified thing.
It was so cool.
It was cool.
It was so awesome. That's my favorite.
But things changed after that, though. For those regions and the people in them, they either had to, go with the big leagues or figure out something different. And the big leagues were always going to outcompete them, and a lot of them struggled and had to get absorbed or do other things. Move to a place where there was a regionally based promotion where they could work from. For instance. So things just change, and things change drastically. In the music scene, singles used to be a thing, a physical single, and then the physical single went away. And now the single as a thing is coming back. So trends also go away and come back. But
That's true.
It's hard to sell an album, but everyone's making singles. And so what you do often is have to read the trends and signs of the times and cater to those needs of the people. And it's difficult to do a lot of times because, again, you're working against things like the economic factor and other social unrest. There's a very real thing that some people don't want to be in a large crowd. You know, some people are nervous about that now.
That's true. If we reel back to wrestling, they're trying to do that rebrand again because they just put it on Fox. And they're like, SmackDown, you know, like they did in the early 2000s with SmackDown and everything. And now they're trying to do it again. And they're like, with the attitude, with the old attitude that they used to have. But it, you know, who knows? But it just, it was a different time.
You know about the other league, the rival league now?
Is it WCW? No. I don't remember. I know what it is, but I don't remember the. It's like, it's not NXT. It's like T. No, it's 3 letters, isn't it?
Not NXT.
It's not that. It's the other one.
Yeah,
it's the other one. The other wrestling.
Part of what
QWZ.
part of what the
LCQ
WWE is doing is in response to that is to,
NWR.
there is they'll become better with good competition. They were really at their best when they had the WCW really competing for their market shares and audience. And WCW was a viable threat to them for a while. They just weren't making a sustainable product. Like they were really, I can't say flashy because they weren't flashy. They were
kind of just making money off of WWE kind of. They're feeding off of it, kind of copying it, and because even Hulk Hogan and stuff went to it. Yeah. And it was the same kind of, it was Hulk Hogan just on WCW and it was the same thing. Yeah.
It was it was a struggle.
I had that game on Nintendo 64 as my favorite. I remember right when you turned it on, it's like WCW, and then there was a truck, and the truck was going through the tunnel, and then Hulk Hogan and everybody was all coming out, all the wrestlers. It was so cool.
I liked the early WWE games were really good, man. There was a couple, so the Attitude and the one before Attitude Raw. They were on like the PlayStation 1, and I think both those were PlayStation 1. Those were fucking phenomenal games. Really good. And I didn't like some of the first SmackDown games because they took the WCW engine and started making...
running with it.
Yeah, making the games with that. But then they evolved and got more streamlined. They were a little clunkier. The ECW had a really good game too. Wrestling games were the best fighting games. Like because I played many fighting games for a period of time, just casually. It's just something that you can sit around and do with the bros.
They were kid-friendly, kind of, in a sense. They really weren't too violent. They were violent, but they weren't, like, excessively violent. There wasn't guns or anything crazy. It's just dudes doing moves.
Did they have chains?
There
Chairs?
was, like...
Yeah.
Yeah, but everyone knew it was
more
fake.
Easily accessible to children.
Everyone knew it was fake. I even knew. I went to see the Fun House is what they called it. It was it was like everybody kind of mixed together, and it was called the Fun House, and it's like China and Triple H and stuff like that. I was only like 4, and I loved that shit, man. I was like, yeah. Kick some ass. He was all doing the X and everything. It was great.
I saw a couple.
It was awesome.
Hilarious.
The best childhood. That wasn't violent to me. I was more into the characters. The characters of people and what the drama of what was going on, and not really the fights themselves.
I was like, 10 to 15, or in that range when I was really into wrestling as a kid, being able to just kind of watch whatever I want for that period of time and discovering all of the just great wrestling that was tucked away on TV at different hours. So, and they were largely cartoonish, but it was also largely sports to me. Even though it was violent, it was sport. It was athleticism. And even though it was cartoonish, it was still competition, and they had belts. And so part of what really like was selling me early on, and what makes it entertaining today, or doesn't make it entertaining today, is when that belt, that title has a value. When there's people that are competing for it, and you can kind of see the rankings and the structure play out, and this guy is the number one contender, and he wants that title shot, and he wants that belt from that champion, but all these other guys want to be the number one contender, and they're fighting for that, climbing the ladder, winning matches or losing matches, and falling down the ladder, and just like, oh, this guy used to be a champ, but he's how far he's fallen, and he's just, he's a loser now, he's just a bum.
Yeah, I hate that part of it too.
Yeah,
It drives me crazy.
But then you're just a bum for a while, and you get discouraged, and you get mad, and you're tired of it, and then you pick up a chair and you hit somebody, and you're redeemed, and
That's
now
true.
you've turned heel, and you're the bad guy now, and you climb your way up the ladder as a bad guy, and you've reinvented yourself, and you spit on people, and you don't give a fuck, and then you get there, and then you're the bad guy, but you beat the good guy who everyone hates because everyone's tired of liking the good guys. Yeah.
Pretty much.
And
You just summed it
meanwhile,
up.
I was doing other things.
Listen,
Because I don't know
No,
nothing about wrestling
it
whatsoever.
doesn't matter. It's like it's a soap opera.
Yeah.
And it works as that. It functions as that, and you can come in and out of it at any time. General Hospital is a show. Is that still on?
Yeah, it's. I think they killed off some main people, but then they brought it back. I don't know how they keep doing that.
So
Wait. They killed off somebody and then brought them back.
No, main people, and then somehow something like that, and then I don't get it. I don't get how
Resurrection?
people get so into
Oh, well,
it.
it's hospital. I guess they.
it's something that you can watch, but you don't have to be too invested in.
That's true.
They're going to tell you what happened last time, and they're going to and sometimes
kind of keep you up to date.
yeah.
Yeah.
As a little kid, and being babysat by my grandma, for instance, in the 70s and early 80s, I would have to sit through grandma's stories. Grandma would have to watch her stories, and General Hospital was one of them. That was her favorite.
Yeah.
Now, General Hospital started as a radio program back in the days of radio, and it then transferred to television when television started, and just ran and ran and ran and ran. So she might have
still
been
going.
She may have been following it since she was a little girl.
Yeah, a bazillion. There's no way anyone could possibly watch every single episode.
No.
There's no way.
No.
You have to skip
Yep.
through
They
some.
might not even exist anymore.
Yeah.
It's very likely.
Yeah.
Because they're so.
No, there's
prolific.
even old school movies that show General Hospital in the movie. That's
Yep.
really, really, really long time ago. So yeah, I believe it.
But so, me in the late 70s, take this 78, 9, 80, somewhere in that range, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm all Star Wars. I'm into Star Wars, and I have to be tortured with my country grandma and her slow country ways, and wanting to watch General Hospital and things like this. And it's like, oh wow, this is hard. So General Hospital and Lawrence Welk were particularly hard times.
Yep.
Those were struggles. Hee Haw was a struggle.
My God.
Occasionally there'd be a cute girl on Hee Haw or some funny joke or something,
I'm glad my mom watched The Young and the Restless.
Well, I mean, Grandma will
I'm
probably
glad I
watch
played
a lot
outside.
of them. But at a certain point, though, in the 70s, there came the Luke and Laura saga. Now, Luke and Laura were around on General Hospital prior to this. Luke was some sleazebag, and Laura was some promising up-and-coming young woman. And then these two star-crossed lovers hooked up. And
That's always what does it.
yeah, it was the Romeo and Juliet of their time.
Brings the people in.
And so there was first the Luke and Laura love story was the thing, and I didn't give a shit about any of that. I didn't care. That's not really what my emphasis is. But then I think it was the next summer when Luke and Laura met the spy, Robert Scorpio, and Robert Scorpio got them all involved in some international espionage.
Uh-oh.
And so this is when young Potter became invested in General Hospital, because Scorpio was on the path of this diabolical billionaire Mikos Cassadine, who had moved to Port Charles with some sinister plans. He's like, why is he here? He tracked him here. What's going on with Mikos Cassadine and his brothers? Because Cassadine also had some brothers. And so it was all suspicious. And so then they started investigating it, and they're like, they find out that Mikos Cassadine has some evil plot to do something from this island. And they're like, oh, we got to figure it out. So they stow away on a boat, all three of them, Robert Scorpio and Luke and Laura. And they're on this boat, and they're hiding on a boat in the hole of the boat. And they're sneaking, and they have to go and sneak and get food and live on this boat in the hole. This goes on for a while. And then they get to the island. And then they have to get off the boat and get to the island. And now they're camped out on an island, and they have to be covert on an island.
And it's
right?
just a resort, right?
No, it's an island.
Oh.
It's a secret island. He's got a secret hideout on an island in a mountain on the island.
Oh, okay.
And so now they've got to figure out how to infiltrate the base and stop this diabolical plot of whatever it is. And what it is that Mikos Cassadine has developed a freeze ray, and he's freezing Port Charles in August. And so,
What?
So, like 30 years ago or 40
Madness.
years ago. I would say it's 40 years ago to this
This was on
day.
General Hospital?
Yes. Yes.
What the fuck?
This is what I'm trying to tell you. So, and this is dude. We could be talking 40 years ago to the
so
day.
confused.
Wow. I gotta
so-
look up that episode now.
So
That's fucking
it's a whole
awesome.
it's a whole season. The whole year is an ongoing saga. It's just going on and on
I would
because they're
watch that
dragging
season.
this shit out.
I
You
would
dude.
watch that season.
So we've not even got to the best parts. So they're freezing Port Charles. It's August, and the freezeway from this secret island in the Atlantic is freezing Port Charles, where this all takes place. And it's snowing in August in this city, and they're like, why? And it's because you got to meet this guy's demands or something. And it's all craziness until they kill him. They finally trap him in his little chamber and freeze Mikos Cassadine, and he's dead forever.
General Hospital freeze ray. Oh.
Yeah, that's right.
Cassadine family.
There you go.
Look at me.
Dude, I remember it so well.
You did.
Ice
I
Princess,
think you just gave
Ice
us it.
Princess storyline.
There we go.
Plot to freeze the world.
We're watching it. I'm
Oh
gonna
my
get
god!
it.
Oh,
I'm gonna
July
rent that
8th, the
shit.
day before my birthday.
I'm getting that shit.
That was the first
What year
appearance.
was it?
1981.
Oh, 81.
Oh, you know why they did that shit? It's because it was the turn of the 80s. Everything had to be all spacey and crazy and
Yeah.
electric and wild.
Yep.
And they just had to blow it up.
Yeah, it was jumping
They
the shark.
blew it
was
up.
jumping the shark huge. how crazy can we get? They really
That's
did.
awesome.
Jesus.
Okay, we should go to some songs.
Yes.
We'll have to figure out. Oh wait, I should have looked up what season that was.
Well, jeez.
Oh, it said 81.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's as close as you're probably going to get.
Yeah. All right.
Sweet your sins in the church. You do it in the streets. You do it at home. The rest is bullshit, and you know it. You speak so vaguely. Inside I live. Slip down to nothing. I still don't believe. The walls you were planted. Your eyes are down my throat. You have to feel the abandoned. And it is no one goes. With the strange things, the mistakes I made, I'll take.
Is it on?
Now it's on.
All right.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
It's
Okay.
beeping. Blinking. It's blinking.
It looks like it's on. Okay.
All right.
All right.
So now, done all the house cleaning. Everything's
Yeah.
back in order.
All right.
We continue to talk more about General Hospital during those songs.
Yeah.
I can't believe that.
I'm glad I could share that with you. Yeah, actually, back in the 90s in Papa Wheelie with my friend Nick, the guitarist, he also was babysat and had to sit through the, what was it, the Ice Princess saga? Is that what you guys called it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Him and I reminisced about it fondly on tours. We talked about every detail because it was well done. Like for a show that we hated, loathed, an hour of a day that was just torture. They pulled it off. They sold it.
Yeah.
They introduced this to a bunch
whole
of kids.
new generation of children. Yeah. Wow.
Um,
Now I want to go back and watch it now. 'Cause,
Luke and Laura would have a good run. They did eventually split up. Actually, they took off for a while and left the show because they became so famous that they were going to go do other things. But, yeah, that whole era, like that was hinged on those two superstars, really made General Hospital blow up. The whole Luke and Laura love story.
There was a fly in my face.
Yeah, those stupid little tear flies.
It happens.
Um,
It's that season.
After they defeated the Cassadines, the next season, Elizabeth Taylor came on General Hospital to guest star as Mikos Cassadine's wife. Now all the
Dun, dun, dun.
all the brothers were dead now, but she was the sole benefactor of his estate and the billionaire heiress of everything. And so she comes to Port Charles, and everyone's like, "Oh, shit's gonna go down. Shit's gonna go down." And really, she just came and donated like a wing to the hospital. And it's like, that's all. Like, oh, that's it? That's it? Yeah. Hey, the General Hospital was never good after the Ice Princess saga, as far as I know.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I never heard anything remotely comparing to it again. Scorpio did have some other thing, but then he just became a normal, boring person. And it was just...
Did I finish that? I did. I did.
Okay. I had to finish off my free spins.
That's fine.
Awkward silence.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll put crickets there.
It's all right.
I'll just try to think of other
All we didn't
things.
talk about is the finish the baseball talk.
Didn't we? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, we got distracted. You know me.
Yep.
Like,
What do you mean, the baseball talk?
Yeah, there's
I thought you guys-
more stuff that happened at the baseball.
Your
It was
pizza sucked. You said you were going to use your pizza to catch a ball.
Well,
Yeah.
I did eat most of my pizza, nonetheless.
Yeah.
Like
I-
it was $8.75. I wasn't going to waste that money.
Yeah.
Like, jeez.
Man, I would have racked in those free booze coupons there. I would have been wasted
Well,
by the end of that
I was trying to be smart, basically. 'Cause
I
I was
would've
trying to
been the
drink a
dumb
beer because I was drinking beer, and then I was going to drink water, and then I was going to go back to another beer. But I went from a beer to water to going out to smoking a joint to coming back to it being too late for me to get another beer.
Yeah.
And yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah, I didn't need more than a half
Yeah.
of a beer. Like
I'm the alcoholic of the group.
later on, I was like, I could have drank the whole beer, but like as it stood, it took me, it gave me a good buzz for a while, and a few hours I could not feel it anymore, which was nice. Like it was good, rather than because I've drank plenty. Like
Well, yeah, you haven't drank long. That's good enough.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
in 10 years too. Yeah, that
Yeah,
is definitely.
That's enough.
I was
yeah.
not going to at all.
Over
It's
Yeah.
just like when you first smoke pot and you can only take a couple hits and your whole entire world is different. It's the same kind of
Everything's
thing.
funny.
Or kind of like
Yeah.
you take a dab for your first time, you got to have your phone taken away from you. so you don't call the cops. Or the
All right, I felt like I was
police.
melting. I was melting, okay? Whether physically I was or not, I was melting, all right? And that's how it was.
Cops can't help you. For
Chris was melting.
Yeah, but they can't help.
I know.
Qualified.
It was a joke. It was more of a joke.
Yeah, it
like,
was
you
funny.
know, I was like,
I
oh my
like
God,
it.
I'm dying. Am I going to be okay? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I thought we were going to go see a movie and stuff, and that didn't end up happening.
No, that never happened.
I think I would have felt like quicksand. Or I would have ate the whole entire movie theater down until it went away. That's what I do. If I feel really, really like overly stoned, I will definitely just... And I know they say you're not supposed to. It actually makes it worse.
What?
If you eat.
Here's the thing. Okay, so there's a lot of things that I don't necessarily buy. Like, I don't know if they're true or not. I just, like, for instance, like, the munchies never existed anywhere except for America. There was a thing that was like, oh, you get stoned and you get hungry. It's not necessarily true. It's just somehow got associated with that. Eating food, especially like if you've just smoked weed, if you're a new smoker and you taste something, it tastes wonderful. Because fucking everything's wonderful when you're stoned. So that's where it all starts. Is like, oh, I'm gonna get stoned and then eat.
Yeah, it makes me feel better.
And if you're hungry, and if you're hungry, then you're going to still be hungry after you get stoned. But for my money, for me personally, like, and especially this goes more to do with my health issues than anything else, but I would feel more stoned if I had a full stomach first. And for me, eating kills my buzz, which is why I don't ever want to eat after I smoke weed, because it doesn't make me more stoned. It makes me way less stoned. Like, almost anything kills my buzz that I'm going to do after I get a buzz. Except for smoking a cigarette, which would always kind of put a nice...
Little buzz.
little cap on that buzz.
But I do know that when I smoked, if I took a really big bong hit and I was harshing out really bad, if I lit up a cigarette and took a couple of drags of a cigarette, it would help me, my cough settle down way faster.
Yeah.
It's a suit that almost instantly, instead of a couple drags, I would stop coughing.
Also, it's just such a nice...
My thing is when I don't feel good, which is the opposite of most people. Usually when people don't feel good, they don't eat. They don't want to. I always want to eat because I feel like it's going to make me feel better somehow or some way.
That's not a... For me, when you say that, that's not a bad mentality, and that's kind of how I try to look at things now. I want to ingest food and water in abundance because that's what's going to make me healthy. Like, and fruit's good. I want to eat fruit. I want to drink juice. I want to drink water.
Yeah, so when I'm wigging out, I'm like, I am going to feel better if I, like, eat. Because I'm wigging out, you know? Oh, shit.
And that's a great mentality.
I can't break
Is
that.
it broken?
You broke it again? You come over here and break this every time.
No, it's
You're not going to be
broken.
allowed to touch this anymore, Chris.
It's
You
not
need to
broken.
put the thing around it, though. That's your job. I don't know how to do that.
You need it on a chain around your neck.
That's the best
No,
way.
I don't.
Right there, that's the best way to
I
do
don't
it.
need to have that there. No.
I don't
No.
blame you.
I do it on my own little private time. Other than on this podcast, it's a very open session. Usually, it's not like that.
I'm just talking for him because he's clumsy and will break things. He wants to
Oh, yeah,
smash
all the
everything.
time. Yep.
It's okay.
Well,
Oh, we
I
got
got-
a canopy. Oh, wait, not a canopy. What's it called? A hammock
Well,
thing.
A frame for a hammock.
Yeah.
Frame for a hammock.
There we go.
Yeah, it's like a thing
That's
that
what I
you
was
just
looking for.
fold up,
Oh, yeah?
and then, but we just bought just that week because you already had a hammock. I actually have a couple of them, and it's a frame that just you just unfold it and then you spread it apart, and it's freaking a hammock thing. And then what you do is you put your hammock on it. Once you get your hammock actually situated and hooked up to it, then you can just leave the hammock there, fold it up with the hammock on it, and then you can just wherever you go, you can
Take it
ching,
anywhere.
ping, have a hammock. It does weigh a little bit. It's probably about
It's
good,
pretty heavy. It's not
maybe 30,
light,
30
but
pounds.
it's
35
cool
pounds.
to be able
it's
to
got a little
have it.
weight to it.
It's cool to have it anywhere.
But it's cool.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna figure out a way to put some wheels on one side of it, so you could just lift up one side of it and kind of just wheel it around and shit.
That's
So, and I've got the wheels. I just got to figure out how to mount them up to it. So,
Yeah, I got a gift card from work, so I was like, I want to get something cool.
Yeah.
And we were going to get like a double chair type thing, like a camping chair, but the one that I wanted, they didn't have anymore. It was like a super plush, almost like a sitting on a recliner seat type thing for two. And then there's a little table in between where Ginger could have sat. And I was like, oh, I really love it, but they were gone.
the cool part about this is both times that I've got in it, the first thing Ginger wanted to do was jump up. So she jumped up in with me and stuff. And then she sat there for a little bit, and then she got that, and she jumped back up.
She's like, okay, I figured out what this was. I'm done now. She was so mad at us today for leaving.
Oh.
A little bit extra than normal. She was just like super pissed.
Yeah, but she's gonna go. We're gonna take her with us to the concert.
Yeah.
So,
Rock show.
Yeah.
you know,
So who else is playing out there?
I think that's just
I
it.
think it's just Limberlost,
Yeah.
and it's just a 2-hour show. So they'll probably maybe play 45, take a little break, and then probably play another 45 or something. I mean, they only have like 2 albums or 3 albums or something like this. I'm not sure. But she did get the singer did get an award for female singer. I'm not sure exactly where or anything. But I mean, they're a radio ready band. I mean, they're, you know, if the computer age didn't happen, they would be pro, and who knows, they still might end up going pro because they're that good of a band. So,
Well, yeah.
Things will change. People will evolve. We touched on this before, but there will be a time where because it's in people's hands now to do what they want to do in their own ways, but there is certain elements missing that were in place with the mainstream system. So yes, getting your exposure to as broad an audience is not as easy without major label distribution and marketing. The millions of dollars that they had behind their outlets to put your music in front of different reps and different DJs or whoever, you know, just getting your stuff out there to be played. Because it's like those major label brands were something that people were saying, oh, quality comes from these sources. So this is where we're getting our radio product from. There is an oversaturation of product in completely everything, but it doesn't mean that there's not good quality stuff and stuff that doesn't appeal to both broad audiences and niche audiences. And you can find some form of income and sustainability from any one of those. It's just, okay, some people are striving so hard to be mainstream that they lose sight of the fact that they can be making money on the side as they go, or they're just not capitalizing on enough of their ability to do it yourself and rein in a lot of different things. There's a lot of revenue streams the band can tap into, and ultimately it often does take money to make money, and it can be hard to market yourself when you have little to no burnable income. And some people are just not wanting to do certain things that reflect on them poorly. Like I was in punk bands. We would make t-shirts with spray paint and stencils. You know, that's a lot of, and other bands still will do stuff like that occasionally, certain poor bands, but there's certain bands that would never do that. That would be like, no, that's gross and stupid and go fuck yourself. because that's how some people would feel.
Yeah, but those bands are making money off of something small that they were creative on. And
Yeah.
it works.
It really depends on how you want to be represented and what you want to do to get your name out there. Like, our friend Petey Normal he draws those shirts, and those shirts are amazing that he did. I'm sure that he can't draw a million shirts, but he can,
you'd be surprised.
Well,
and he does them all one at a time. Everyone's different.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And he has a lot of them out there. Because every show he has, he'll have like 20, 30 shirts.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, because I have like, 3?
Yeah, you have
And
a few.
they're all different designs. And all you got to do is say, hey, make one for me. And then he'll just kind of get ideas from you, and then he'll make one. It's cool.
See, if I was his manager, I would say make a simple logo design, and you can make it a little different every time, but make it similar enough that they're all the same, and make literally 1,000 of those.
It's kind of already has that. It's just kind of a smiley face,
Gotcha.
but it has glasses, and I think it has a goatee and beard on it or something like that. And it's funny.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Because he'll have that big ones that during the show he'll walk out with them with his guitar and stuff.
That's cool.
So yeah. Well, you should really catch one of his
He's
shows.
cool,
Yeah.
Because they're freaking very well laid out. He's a marketing genius when it comes to marketing himself.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can't help but to not like it and not remember
Who he
his show.
is.
Yeah.
I mean, you cannot not remember it because,
And that's a good thing to have.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Oh my
Even
God!
when he freaks out on stage all together, it's still a great show.
I just I had a slight twinge of panic. Where are we in our show? Where are we?
I think we're in the third
I
segment.
think you're right.
Yep.
That's
No.
what I think. So.
It's 2.
Here, let me.
We've not been in this segment that long, I don't think, right?
No.
No. Just completely lost.
We're at
Just running out of things to
hour 36.
talk about.
Oh. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, we got about another 10 in talking, and then maybe some music after that.
You tried to turn us back to the baseball game, and then
Oh yeah,
we just keep getting stuck on pizza.
Yeah, because I wanted to talk about the because I just got the said pizza, and then I got a beer, and then we turned around and we were walking, and I took like 2 steps, and then all of a sudden, bounce, a ball bounced like right in front of us. And I was just like, holy shit, if that would have hit me, that would have freaking really hurt. And then I realized there was a kid right in front of me, a little kid. You know, it's just like, well, holy crap, that could have killed that kid. That could have really freaking hurt that kid.
Probably wouldn't have killed him. Probably just would have clocked him. pretty well.
Or gave him a nice bruise.
I mean,
on
But
the
yeah,
head.
and then throughout the game, I started noticing all these balls going. Oh wow, yeah, that I think that did hurt somebody. Oh wow, yeah, that one could have hurt somebody. Oh yeah, somebody missed it. It's like, oh, holy shit! It's like we're getting, it's like we're getting bombed here and stuff.
Yeah, I really am surprised that more people don't. I mean, it does happen though.
Yeah,
I mean, it absolutely does.
Well, they had to change Chicago's, was it Wrigley Field or whatever
Oh
that one is?
Somebody-
Because,
somebody died.
well,
It was
every
a little
year,
kid. A little
about
kid.
20 people, no, and a woman, so it was more than one because a woman died. But every year, over 20 people or something like that get hit with a ball. Usually it's not like serious stuff, but then 2 people or however many people have died now. So they kind of had to change the whole entire thing. But I can't believe the 20 plus injuries that happened all the time wasn't enough for them to decide to change it. But I'm glad they are doing it now.
What makes me realize that the next time I go and I'm bringing a glove.
Yeah.
Because in all reality, I couldn't have got that pizza up fast enough to catch it. It was sitting under my seat, so there was no way I could have reached under and grabbed him.
I was going through the
It would
scenario.
have been greasy too,
Like-
so it probably would have just slipped off.
Oh yeah,
your
it would have went right through my hand. Of course, with my muscle
It
like this, but it went snap my hand back and right in my face.
I had the hat, and
It's a glove. I could have glopped my face.
I was going through the scenario, like watch him hit the ball and how fast it travels. It's like, okay, I could have my hat off my head and in front of us fast enough. Like, it was coming towards us. Like, I had it down.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that I would have got it, but I feel like I was in the zone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what you got to do is you realize that if the ball gets hit and it just looks like a dot that doesn't move, it's coming right at you. Because I've been hit by a ball in elementary school.
It's like, wow, that's weird looking.
Yeah, it's just like yeah.
When I played soccer, I progressively started getting more and more afraid of the ball.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but it just started to become. I think it's because as we all got older, the ball was just coming at me so fast.
Yeah, it got
And that
faster
shit
and faster
just
and
started to
faster.
scare me, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. I'm getting anxiety. These balls are just coming at me left and right.
Well, it's also a correct.
I just.
Wow, that can be taken in a totally different way. Wow.
I'm just saying.
Oh, I'm just saying too.
I was young, okay.
And that makes it all that much better.
Jesus, Christopher. Anyways,
All right, anyways,
they're scary. No one likes that stuff coming at you.
It seems like a good tactic. You're right, Ashley. No one likes those balls coming in your face.
Okay.
Like that.
I don't get it.
back to the freeze ray.
Uh-huh.
I'm finding more information about it now. That somebody was banging Laura on the disco floor. Do you remember that episode? Luke was.
I don't specifically remember it.
Wow.
Someone watched that one quite a few times.
Chris Capano?
She hit rewind.
she's all at home. They're looking up all the raunchy stuff about it and sending it to us.
Rewind.
Luke and Laura were a hot item. They were like, yeah.
See?
They were big.
We talking about even more stuff. It's getting even worse. Now it's disco floors.
Yep.
I was telling Chris the other day when we were driving by the new casino, because the side of the building kind of reminds me of like an old disco floor.
Uh-huh.
I was thinking, why hasn't someone already come up with a building that's a disco? Because kids are totally into this stuff now. Everyone's kind of into the old school buses, the style, being a hippie, you know. People just like it, and that's what's going on right now. People are feeding off of it. So how much money would you make if you made a disco? Probably a lot of money if you did the floor, did the whole entire thing. Just
Well,
like,
those things are kind of going on in a sense,
yeah.
and it's bad. It's called raves.
I know,
And
but
there's
see,
DMT
they already
and all
have
those
stuff
things.
like that, but now they need to have like a building where it's obviously controlled. You're not doing a whole bunch of freaking drugs in the middle of the floor, and you're not fucking in the middle of the floor, but you can have a fun place that's disco. You know, just like a normal club that's not like that all the way.
The struggle lies therein is trying to create a fun environment where that's not going to happen. Because part of it is that, like, I guess not necessarily that, oh, I could get laid on a dance floor, but that it's just loose and sexy, and there's drugs going on. It's like I think of like this because I like this Electric Daisy Carnival that's in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
That's just a great thing, but there's a lot of drugs that's going to go on there. Now they're trying to create that
Yeah.
in a festival setting that is exactly like you're talking about, and the promoters and organizers don't want it to be a huge drug fest. And
Sorry.
that's okay. And say that it's not, and on the surface it's not. But surely down there on the floor, there's a lot of fucking
But
drugs.
that's happening. See, you can open a bar and that same thing happens.
Yes.
You can open a club that's not a disco, and the same thing happens.
And these become serious liabilities.
I know.
Yeah. I'm right there with you, but that is why they don't last and why they don't emerge. Is because how are they done? How are they managed?
Just drink if you want to feel fun. I don't know. You don't have to do drugs all the time, people.
But drinking is enough. Drinking is enough to get
As we
for
do
people to get
drugs.
naked. And
It is. That is.
all you need is booze. You don't need anything else. Not even cigarettes. All you need is
But
booze.
go
and people-
outside. You don't have to do it on the floor.
Well,
It's not
but you're
me.
still responsible for them.
And it's not me that's going to have the sex on the dance floor. It's them.
yeah.
They're going to. Like, they're going to do it. Like, Luke's and Laura's of the world are just going to come out of the woodwork and bang on your dance floor
Yep.
if you don't have someone out there policing it all the time.
Well, that
Yes.
is kind of funny because I was working and it was Sunday and there's nobody in the restaurant. It was a very, very slow Sunday. This couple comes in and it's like 12. And they just sit at the bar and I ask them if they want anything.
Like 12 noon?
Yeah, like noon.
Oh, right.
I asked them if they want anything. They're like, oh, yeah, we already ordered from the other person that was working. I don't remember which one. And I was like, okay. So they get one beer, and then they just full on start making out. Full on, like, heat, though. Like, not just normal.
Like
normal,
in heat making out?
Like, fucking, they're about to rip each other's buttons off type making out. And I'm just like, we're all feeling awkward because we're the only people in the building and this is just happening in the side corner. And we're like, what the fuck do we even do about this kind of
That's
situation?
when you get one of those little cans that had the button on it that's a horn.
Yeah.
It goes, "Eh." You say, Thal, get a room.
Get a room.
room.
It was, yeah. I was just like, wow. But it's great when, they love each other. It's awesome.
Yeah, but
But
there's times and
12
places
noon
for it, yeah.
on a Sunday.
Well,
This
the
is
time-
not
no,
a
no,
Saturday night club.
Wait. Well, yeah. Well,
This is
the
not.
time. The time isn't bad. The fact is where it's at. Well, you should be going that
Full
insane.
on making
anyway.
out at the bar at 12 o'clock noon when families are outside. That's a
Well, you should be making out full on at a bar.
people
at any
do
time.
at bars at 12 o'clock at night on a Saturday because it's 12 o'clock at night on
Oh.
a Saturday with a whole bunch of
Well, I
drunk
missed that
people.
because I'm usually closed by then.
Well,
So
I
I
have the
missed-
shitty part
I'm
of
usually
working
driving
with
home by
bars
then.
on every single corner.
Oh, all
And all I see is that. I walk to my car, that's all.
right.
Yeah. Or they stumble in. Do you guys have vodka? And makes out with her husband. No, we don't. Okay, honey, let's go home. You should have just went home. Yeah.
We should go to
And on
songs.
that note, yeah, I was gonna say, let's hit some vodka songs.
Vodka.
I forget that we're due a show. I just forget that.
But play a song that you might listen to if you drink vodka.
1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball.
Little Freddy lived on peanuts and Pepsi and just in case he back at 45. Little Freddy laughed all day long and now he lay his head in a popcorn basket. opposite was right. You can't win, you better die trying. But you came up in a Freddy. They'll show them what they wanted to be. Whatever it takes, when duty calls, whatever it takes, you will remember me. In every game there are side effects. They're little monsters in residue. Beneath the glory, lay the defeated, staring one swollen eye at you.
And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. Isaiah 33:6.
And now the president is making his way to the podium to deliver this year's State of the Union address.
Yeah. Greetings, my fellow soldiers, citizens, warriors. I'm coming trouble with a heart that aims to feel victorious. It goes without saying, our current state is notorious. It's war going on. Will you choose to be glorious? We at a crossroads, faced with some situations with more questions and answers to what it is we facing. Will we be pawns in the game or rebuild the nation? Will we be at the table eating the outside waiting? I've been to every major city on every single coast. I've seen the struggles all the same, don't no matter where you go. We live a game of division. We give them aim and precision. They hand us the brick and mortar. We building up our own prison. Let's re-envision the system and revolt with the intention of realizing our destinies. I mean, go out and get them all. We'll pressure bust the pipes and fail to make the diamonds. But our successors have to fight it. Will they make the shine? If God protects us through the night without the silver lining, will we work to change the plight or just continue finding reasons to stay complacent? Take what they're giving us. The powers that be live within we can't be giving up now. The revolution will not be televised. It will be streamed on Spotify and Facebook Live now. The revolution will not be televised. It will be actualized, mobilized, and realized. We need a brave for the masses and revolutionaries to fight for liberties and freedoms, though the truth is scary. Independence and glory, they are there for the taking. It requires a struggle that's prepared for the breaking. What's out of history will you be on when we come to make it? These trials and tribulations causing the indignation to our syndication are just the indications of a coming vindication. And I have an inclination that's based on some information that despite the infiltration into our administration, there can be no limitation. So let's keep on penetrating this perpetuation and segregation by legislations in place when we ain't demonstrating a position of strength, not one of separation. And with some preparation, we can't neglect the hate. We can't sit idle hoping someone else will fight for us. We must bear and raise the mighty arms of righteousness. What if we look every eye, we facing the iron defiant? What if David had the upper hand against Goliath? What if we took all of our energy and multiplied it? Imagine where we go if we just walk the path that's lighted. I believe for anything we want, we can't deny it. We are the ones who can show, prove, and provide it. But we need more than just some talk, we need some action items. We need some facts behind them with passion to match the silence. Knowledge and wisdom will stabilize the times, and the fight will stay with equity, enabled by the grind, but only grow with perpetuity. So here we draw this line with the shield of defiance, or with the will of the giants. I guarantee with honesty we gon' see the day will shine, and this fight will be emblazoned, it will never be forgotten, and victory is still ours, no doubt. Q dot. Yeah.
We gotta fight, we gotta fight, we gotta run, we gotta run, we gotta fight, we gotta fight, we gotta run, we gotta fight, we gotta run, we gotta run, we gotta fight, yeah, we gotta run, yeah, we gotta fight.
My baby left me for another guy. She dug him because he had a meth lab in that double wide trailer down the street. He had a meth lab in that trailer down the street. She traded all my love That must be why you've been so mean. You're afraid that in heaven there's no methamphetamine. But someday you're gonna get it, babe. You can be sure of that. 'Cause you've been bad, baby, bad, baby, bad, baby, bad, bad, bad. You maxed up all my credit cards and stole all my cash. When you wished for a white Christmas, I didn't know you meant white trash. Like that meth lab in that trailer down the street. You traded all my loving for some meth. Amphetamine. Now out of all the people in this valley, I trust only two. One of them is me, and the other one ain't you. And your meth lab in that trailer down the street. You traded all my loving for some meth. Amphetamine. They say that bad girls don't go to heaven. That must be why you've been so mean. You're afraid that in heaven there's no methamphetamine. But someday you're gonna get it, babe. You can be sure of that. 'Cause you've been bad, baby, bad, baby, bad, baby, bad, bad, bad. You've been bad, baby, bad, baby, bad, baby, bad, bad, bad. You've been bad, baby, bad, baby, bad, baby, bad, bad, bad. You've been bad, baby, bad, baby, bad, baby, bad, bad, bad. How could a love as big as Texas seem so small compared to math? Just like they do in Texas, then you sentenced it to death in that meth lab, in that trailer down the street. You traded all my loving for some meth. Amphetamine. Now I'm chilling with my Jill in the great Northwest, while you're tweaking with that freak in the place you love the best. In that meth lab, in that trailer down the street. You traded all my loving for some meth. Amphetamine.
Just to say I love the way I love
singing from the cliffs above. Oh, my love would fly. And especially some of the new age country sounds way more pop oriented than country music. And I don't care for it. But, you know, everyone has their own music taste.
Yep. Still is Still Moving to Me by Willie Nelson's a really good song.
No, Willie
He's
Nelson's
got a couple of really
good.
good songs.
Yeah.
A lot of really good songs, actually.
I've been listening to like Jon Stewart and stuff like that. I love old country. So.
There's some good old country songs, too, yeah. Johnny Cash, pretty good.
Johnny Cash.
But, you know, there's a lot of artists, Johnny Cash is a good example of it, that, like, you can't listen to their whole catalog. Like, that. Sometimes I like to immerse myself in an artist's catalog. And, like, if I'm sitting writing or drawing, I'll listen to music and can put on, like, all of Queen or all of Led Zeppelin or something like that.
But not all of that.
Boy, that's one of them, and it's not anything against any of these artists, but like REM, there's several good REM songs and some great albums, and their entire catalog in succession will just drive me mad. Like, well, I'm not as fond of their later career stuff, and this is the common with a lot of groups that I just start to not
care for where they're going.
Yeah. Because it's very hard for you to grow with a group and appreciate everything they do. This is pretty uncommon, I feel like, in the later in life you get, where, like, my uncle loved the Moody Blues, but I doubt that he loved every single record that they made at the end of their career. He's probably just like, they're kind of phoning it in. They're doing a lot of synthesizer stuff, and when they're actually very talented musicians, and they're not doing as much music anymore.
I think Neil Young has been the one that when I say it, people kind of look at me because his voice is kind of, you know, it can start to get annoying and twangy, but I can listen to him front to back and be fine. And that's one of the kind of rare artists in that kind of genre that I could do that with.
I'm like that with the Tragically Hip, and that drives some people nuts. Like,
Chris, I like the Tragically Hip, but I'm on the opposite street. Like, I can listen to a couple songs, and like I love Bob Cajun, and that's my favorite, but I just can't listen to it in excess.
Yeah, and see, I know and I see how it affects some people, because some people don't like his singing. And really it comes down to that with a lot of people, is just there's certain singing styles that we are drawn to or not. And they make or break bands. They really do.
And we went to see Tragically Hip.
Yeah, that's neat.
And I just wanted him to play my song. You know? And it just wasn't happening. And it didn't happen until the very, very, very end. And usually Chris and I kind of leave a little bit early because, you know, the wheelchair. And I just get out of there. It's easy, non-stress. But I had to wait and wait to see if he was going to play the damn song. He finally did.
That's great. Yeah, well,
awesome.
when a
But
band...
I'm glad we got to see him.
When a band's got like 5 or more records, you really can't count on them playing your song
I know,
anymore.
but Bob Cajun is like the big one. It's a big one.
I see. I guess I don't follow their trending hits so much, so I wouldn't have known that would be in there. I guess even that live record I've not paid too much attention to, so I don't know what's on there. Like, I knew that, you know, obviously New Orleans is Sinking is one of their big ones, and Something On was a big hit. It just felt like it when I heard it for the first time, like it was a huge hit for them. But I didn't know many of their others that really had a broad appeal. I guess that would be one.
We were just talking about going up to Canada.
Yeah.
Because they had a Tragically Hip beer. Because we follow this Tragically Hip page.
Mm-hmm.
So there's like 3 different brewing companies that kind of make a Tragically Hip beer.
Interesting.
One is actually just called Bob Cajun Brewing. And so that's where it started. And then a couple people made knockoff or, followed that kind of thing. But yeah, we want to go up there and go see it. Because that'd be kind of cool.
Not ever been to Canada.
I want to go to Canada so bad. And now that pot's legal in Canada, and why not?
The closest I've been was Nia Bay, which is beautiful.
Nia Bay, I've been there.
We got pretty close when we went to that weird town. What was that town? Linden. Where you couldn't dance. There was no bars. You couldn't listen to music.
They did splash dance off of.
You can't play music over as loud as your phone could play music too loud.
That's how quiet. Yeah. There's no pool. There's no fun.
Yeah.
They have one casino, and that's where you can tell. Every single person in town, that's the only place that they go to because it's the only place you can have some fun. But I noticed there's no music. There was no music. It was complete, just the sound of the casino machines. Because you couldn't dance.
Yeah.
So
they
weird.
Would insinuate dancing to get you to. As soon as you're doing this, you're busted.
You're under arrest.
And 7 years ago, they actually sold. They didn't sell alcohol on Sundays until 7 years ago.
That's great.
That's how long it has taken them to get up with some of the laws.
Everything about this I love.
It is cool. Like it's cool, but when you're going on like a trip. It wasn't. I was expecting like a beautiful like.
Well, if you're dancing across America, you got to dance around Linden. You don't go there.
We went to a tap room and it was cool,
out of
but
that place. Yeah.
The tap room was the best part probably because it just seemed to be the most normal thing. But everyone was looking at us like we were crazy. Like we did not fit in this town at all.
Oh yeah, not at all.
No, they were looking at us like, whoa.
Yeah.
How can you even afford to be here right now? Kind of thing.
Interesting.
Yeah,
that music is just bumping. They're getting down over there. Must be working hard.
There's no telling what they're doing. Yeah, I wouldn't mind going and checking out some Canada. I wouldn't mind going back up to Nia Bay also.
Yeah, Nia Bay's
we
great.
need our passports though.
Yeah,
we don't have one.
Well, Nia Bay, you don't have to have a passport because it's still in the United States.
Canada, you do, right?
Yeah, if you want to go to Canada, we're not driving all the way back up there not to go to Canada. You know why we run out of things to talk about towards the end of the podcast? Is because we're all stoned and tired.
You gotta figure it out.
Ready for a nap.
Lunch.
Mystery solved.
It is mystery solved. I try not to yawn, but after all those damn, hits, you're just like, whoo. I'm tired.
I'm tired.
That's a workout.
Someone did ask me if I was Texan, and I think I get it from my mom because my mom has a Texan accent.
Is that so?
And so I think living with her my whole life, I've kind of have some words that I say that come out that way. And it's not on purpose.
My family was deeply Midwestern withdrawals. Withdrawal. We had a drawl. We had a southern tinge to our speech, and it was definitely in my voice until it was kind of made fun out of my voice. People would like, y'all. There ain't no y'all.
I say
here.
y'all all the time. I say y'all still, and I'll even type it out, y'all, because that's what I'm saying.
Y'all,
I want everyone to know I'm saying y'all.
That's
there's not a lot of y'alls.
That's really the big one that I can really remember, but there are some other like just little quirky ones.
My
also.
mom went through a red light and she said, shit fire. And that's how shit fire. I was like, what? Sorry. I don't know where that came from.
Ain't is like, you know.
I say that too.
Like, I mean.
It ain't serious.
Ain't a word.
I know, but it ain't a problem
Yeah.
But it ain't
when
a problem.
I say it. Say what I want.
Ain't a word, but it ain't a problem that.
And you ain't gonna get
a
anywhere
word.
just trying to talk me out of it. 'Cause,
No.
You know.
It just comes out. My R's just come out that way sometimes.
And yeah, especially at the age I am, it is in there. It is not going away even still. Like I can speak like a normal human being, I guess is what they are. But that's just, it is like there's a, and I can just see certain family members probably finally accepting it, just didn't have a problem with it, and other ones cringing and was like, no, we didn't want him to do this. Because they don't. Some of them don't. They want you to not be affected by those things that they're trying to outgrow and move past. But, you know, if you move down to Texas or the South, everyone talks like that.
Yeah.
It's just an accent. That's all.
It's kind of like people that go to the United Kingdom. Like, there was someone on TV, I don't know who it was, but everyone just knew that she did not have a British or whatever accent that they have over there. She just didn't have it.
Scully.
But then all of a sudden, 2 years later, that's how she talked.
Is it Scully from the
I don't know. I don't remember who.
I remember seeing her after, like, 2 or 3 years after the X-Files, her appearing on a talk show and speaking with an English accent, and the talk show host the whole time going,
What happened?
yeah, and he eventually asked her, he's like, so, you speak with an English accent now.
There you go. English.
Yeah, and she's like, yes, well, I was born in England and spent the first several years of my life there, and then moved to the States, and then now since I've moved back, it's more pronounced again, and because she, I guess, apparently moved back to England for a period of time, maybe for a couple of years after that. I don't know if this is
She
true.
got made fun of while she was there for talking English.
I don't know. I don't know what it is, but also, like, her speaking with an English accent was really off-putting. It was just like, doesn't sound
It
right
didn't sound
coming out
right.
of you. Yeah, you know, we are very. If you watch the X-Files, you are very used to the way she talks. So her speaking with an English accent and passing it off as normal was weird for us as the bystander. And obviously that guy who was interviewing her was very. He was representative of us completely. Like, lady, you're crazy. This is just craziness. But it's okay.
I can kind of see it. I don't know. I guess when you just hear it all the time, you kind of just pick up on it. So I guess I get it. I don't think it would full on happen so quickly. Maybe after 5 years, 10 years.
Yeah, or would you just resist it and speak like an American and say, fuck you, limey?
I don't think so. I think I would want to feel like a part of the
Normal.
space.
Yeah.
I would want to be a part of everything if I was there, you know. I would just soak it in. I would adapt and soak it in, for sure. Yeah. All right.
Some accents and things would be hard, like French. Like,
No.
you know, that's yeah, I don't know.
Meet you down by the boardwalk.
Wow.
What's going on in your French fantasy?
Do you need to be a Italian pizza
I got that
man
from,
for
No, I got that from.
Halloween?
I got that from mostly Bugs Bunny cartoons. You know, I think that was the
Pepe Le Pew.
Pepe Le Pew. Ha ha ha!
Pepe Le Pew is.
Is that like Italian and French all put together? You're like a mixture.
In the hashtag #MeToo era, Pepe Le Pew's not kosher. No one's down with Pepe Le Pew and his.
Everyone hates Gremlins too.
Yeah.
Everybody.
What goes on in Gremlins?
It's racist, I guess.
What?
I don't remember any racism.
Yeah.
Is Gremlins racist?
If you rewatch it, I guess people point out what makes it that way. I don't know. I don't pay attention to that. I pay attention to the movie. I like the movie. If you're not racist, you're not racist.
Let's be realistic. There are some seriously troubling things in some movies sometimes.
Yes, and it's not okay.
Especially,
well, it's probably the Gremlins acting out or something, whatever.
well, I don't know anything about the
I have
Gremlins,
no
but
idea.
you know, movies of a certain era were just loose with their morals and things that they deemed as okay, the way that certain things went down.
Yeah.
And a good, for instance, is Revenge of the Nerds, which is
Oh God, yeah.
it's got a couple things in it that are just that don't fly. Now, the panty raid thing is its own thing, but then putting cameras in the girls' dorm,
Yeah.
that's a different level of thing. And then sitting up all night watching it is the third level of thing.
Not good.
And then at the end of the movie, the main nerd puts on a Darth Vader costume and pretends that he is someone else to bang this broad. And then after he bangs her, he pulls his mask off and goes, "Ha ha ha! I'm the one who banged you." and she's like, "It's you, the nerd." And she's like, "Oh, but you're really good." So it's sending a bad message for college students everywhere, nerds and not nerds.
They made a lot of movies like that in the early 2000s.
Yes, they did.
though.
Well,
like
in the
every
early
movie that
80s
seemed
and the
like to
mid-80s
come out.
and
Yeah. But Gene Wilder was in a Nazi movie that made fun of Nazi stuff, and they were talking about it on TV the other day, and it was saying, you know, if this movie was made and it joked about 9/11 with famous actors, we probably wouldn't have accepted the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But at the time, the movie was accepted for what it was because it was trying to be loosely funny on a very serious topic.
Yes.
And, you know, people just accepted that at that time because sensitivity was just a little bit different. Because they kind of wanted to see the funny part, you know, the good thing about something so terrible.
Yes.
Versus now, we wouldn't have seen it that way.
Well, and sometimes it just takes some time for us to be able to have some kind of humor about a thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I remember when AIDS jokes started and people asking, "Is this too soon?" you know, to make AIDS jokes.
Yeah.
And likewise, Monty Python did a lot of Nazi humor. And
They
things
did
like
a
that.
lot of Nazi humor.
And like so much that it was like, why are they doing so much? Well, it's because that's what was imprinted on their subconscious.
Yeah.
Like they
were just
grew up
trying
with
to
that and
laugh
yeah,
about it
yeah,
and to
and-
get
Yeah.
around being so negative because it's all you're hearing on the radio, it's all
Yeah.
you're hearing all the time. So yeah.
Yep. Yep, they were destigmatizing the evil, and they were getting on with things. Are you trying to point at your phone like it's time to go? Or are you
No.
doing
No,
something other secretly?
he's been playing his slots.
Yeah.
That's fine. I thought you were like, it's time, dude. It's time
No,
to go.
no, no, no.
End the show. Fucking time. Look at the clock. Look at the fucking clock. Just
No.
look at the clock and let's end the show. Would you just do it? Can we end the show?
We're
Please?
fine.
No.
It's all fine.
Here, watch this. I'll demonstrate.
This is
Ready?
copyrighted.
Ready?
Yeah.
We do not own the rights to Jackpot Party or anything associated.
See.
But I do give the app 5 stars
This
just
is
because
me
I'm addicted.
losing my ass right here. I'm losing everything. I'm losing my life here. I'm losing everything here.
No, jackpot. No whammies.
Nope.
No whammies.
I get a respin.
Respin!
Yeah, but do I get the money from the respin? Because
Yes.
sometimes you don't get it.
We
No,
do
you
not.
It's
007,
not
we do
looking
not.
good. It's not looking good because
you're
I gotta
Look
get
at it.
ones that are
Bing, bing,
connecting.
Bing, 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 bing.
See, they're,
It's gonna hit. It's gonna hit. It's
oh,
gonna
they're
hit. It's gonna
connected.
hit.
All
It's
right.
gonna
See,
hit.
those I'll
It's
get.
gonna
I'll
hit.
get that connection.
Oh, here it goes.
Now it's got to upgrade them.
All right, press stop so we know how much you won.
I'm sure that Google's gonna totally cut out the music of this part.
The
This
suspense
part's
is killing me.
copyrighted or something.
No,
All
I
right.
just said it's no
All right.
copyright.
Right. Okay. Okay. So I actually won money this time. I won $12 million.
That's lame.
Yeah.
That's not that good for that game.
All right. So now
It's like if you are in the billions, you're good.
I accidentally hit it again and I won a bunch more money.
But
Okay, so I'm gonna turn.
you
this,
lose money so fast in this one.
Yeah.
They don't give it to you. They're not nice.
Yeah.
They're kind of
But
rude.
it is a video game and it's not real money.
They
so
want you
that's
to spend money. You know?
That's not what we want to do.
No, I want
They
something
want
free
you
and
to
fun.
get hooked.
See,
So you buy more to
Yeah,
play.
it's not happening though.
is my objective now to become an Instagram influencer and influence people not to do anything. Don't buy anything. Don't do anything. Just don't.
Mhm.
Don't. Fuck
That's
it.
why I don't.
Yep.
I don't buy anything on those.
No, don't.
No. Yeah.
You were thinking of looking really nice today, but don't even bother. No, don't. You look fine. You're fine the way you are.
You're all right.
You're good.
Yep, you're good.
Now you've been influenced.
I had a hiccup.
All right, everybody.
I guess this is the end.
We're gonna let you go.
of the
Yeah.
show.
We might as well. You know.
I'm sorry we have to go.
No,
It's been
he's
fun.
going to edit that into every end of the show now.
There are some things that I could edit. There's something. What was it earlier? Maybe something about balls that you said I might cut out.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
For her day.
Take out the herpes story.
Take it out
Yeah.
entirely.
Take that part out.
Okay.
That wasn't good.
This part 2 is where we're talking about it.
Well, there was a herpes section. Now there's not.
People are going, wow, we have to start putting on condoms when we watch this
Oh, we're keeping that. That's gold.
All right.
That right there, gold.
Now, for anybody who's still listening, you're our biggest fans, and
Yes.
this is your call
Thank
to
you.
action. Yeah, your call to action. This is what we're supposed to do according to YouTube algorithms and demographics. They're supposed to go to all the different pages that we have and find them and like them and share our videos and our podcasts and like them and give them reviews. I don't care if you do any of this shit. If you do it, you can do it. It's all fine.
It'd be cool.
Yeah.
But you know what you can do? You can be nice to somebody. That doesn't cost anything.
Nope. Play some music. Go places where you can dance, where you're free to dance and dance there. Listen
Pet
to
a
music.
dog.
In the words of Matthew
Pet a
McConaughey,
dog.
it'd be a lot cooler if you did.
Feed a stray cat.
Stray cat? Only if you can afford to feed that cat forever.
Yeah, don't do that.
Because-
Don't bring a stray cat home and have your mom have to feel guilty about it or nothing like that.
Hey, man.
trying to be
you guys-
responsible
You guys
here.
are getting way too far out there.
Listen,
All right.
we're trying to be responsible here, and there's enough cats in the world and enough people with cats. If you're gonna feed a cat, that's great, but you have to be able. It's gonna come back.
Yeah, you have to deal with the consequences of
This
the
is
cat coming.
like these are the things that sometimes your parents are assholes, but sometimes they're telling you good things and they're right. It's like, don't feed that fucking animal because that animal will come back. If you feed that animal, it's never
It's
gonna
true.
go away, and it's not a bad thing if you can keep feeding it. But he knows that you can't because you don't got enough money. You're feeding half the fucking neighborhood as it is with all these fucking hooligan kids that you hang out with. So,
Wow.
on that note.
All
Thanks,
right.
guys.
Yeah.
Well, okay, then donate to your Humane Society, I guess. Shit.
Just
Did you say home yang?
Humane Society. I'm still thinking with that slang shit going on here. I don't know what's going on here.
All right, what Christopher said.
I think it's from that cookie.
That can
Oh,
do
yeah.
it for you.
You've ate a cookie.
I ate a cookie.
All right.
And a donut. And a bagel. And I had some tea.
I had a Burger King burger
I
this
know, shut
morning.
And half of my bagel.
And half of his bagel.
Yeah, with cream cheese.
And a 20-ounce large-ass coffee.
Yeah,
It's great.
it was great. Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye, guys.
Would you let me in? Put your guard down. Let me make you smile, stay for a while. Then we can talk it up till you had enough, till you had enough. Give me just an eye for the real thing. Let me show you how to really be happy. Maybe fall in love. I could be the one. I could be the one to show you love. To show you love. La 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 la. La 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 love's got me singing. Ha ha. Maybe I'll laugh about it later, but for now I'm feeling just a little crazy. 1, 2, 3, I'm diving in the deep end, holding my breath. Will you take my hand? Will you take my hand? I know you're freaking out, see your handshake. What you thinking about, thinking that I'm gonna break your heart? Think I'm gonna break your heart? What's on your mind, what you feeling like? Maybe I can be the girl that can make it right. I can be the one, we could fall in love. We could fall in love. We could fall in love. La 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 la. La 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 love's got me singing. Ha ha. Maybe I'll laugh about it later, but for now I'm feeling just a little crazy. 1, 2, 3, I'm diving in the deep end, holding my breath. Will you take my hand? Will you take my hand? I don't want a boy toy. My heart is aching for you. Don't wanna scare you, boy, but you're too good to be true. Can't shut me up now. Got me thinking all about the ways that I could make you feel good. Maybe we could fall in love. La 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 la. La 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 love's got me singing. But for now I'm feeling just a little crazy. 1, 2, 3, I'm diving in the deep end, holding my breath. Will you take my hand? Will you take my hand? La 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 love's got me singing. Ha ha. Maybe I'll laugh about it later, but for now I'm feeling just a little crazy. 1, 2, 3, I'm diving in the deep end, holding my breath. Will you take my hand? Will you take my hand?
It's a turning point. The body to the mind. Head to what's up.
Lust turns me, your body's mine. Lust me,
You're a pigeon, I'm a statue. And you keep your skeletons concealed. I do believe your ride is waiting for you outside it. I'm the road beneath your wheels. Yeah. There's no such thing as perfect. You're growing tired of these ideas. There used to be a time when you were my partner in crime, but now there's nothing left to steal. You don't know how it feels. Ooh, oh, oh, you don't know how it feels. Ooh, oh, sick as your secrets, and most of yours have been revealed, and everyone can tell that you're not feeling well, but you won't take the time to heal. Don't lie to me, baby. You don't know how it feels. So don't lie to me, mama. You don't know how it feels. Ooh. You don't know how it feels. Oh yeah.
Your chin up, they say, but I won't. And do what you're told, but I don't. dying inside, and you don't have much to hide. So don't give up your way, and I won't. It's a good time to be, it's a long way to see the end of mankind, and that's alright. So I'll take this in stride, and I'll eat so many lives to finally see what it means to be alive. Well, I'd like to ask you, but I won't. You say you're inside all alone. If you could stay sane and just try to find your way, then you'd see that you're finally not alone. It's a good time to be, it's a long way to see the end of mankind, and that's alright. So I'll take this in stride, and I'll eat so many lives to finally see what it means to be alive.
Bye.